We paid all that money for that clapping thing, and we never used it.
Never.
Teddy stole it.
He took it back. I wonder how it was made. Or
wait, did he really take it back?
I don't know. Wasn't it his?
He asked to borrow it, and then I never saw it again.
So he gave it to us. He filled it out secretly.
Yes.
Texted me that we had it.
Right.
Then took it back. It was probably because you called him homeless.
I was going to say, he's holding that homeless comment.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to another edition of Falcons Corner.
Yes.
The Falcons Mike. They know the call with Danny Berg, the SID. Still football season, so still TD Tom Ferguson.
Yeah, he's not Ferg.
Yes. And we're going to say it's still football season because Tom is going to finish the show with a nice interview with Coach Duda.
Yeah.
Explaining how, what, when, where, what will happen with the football postseason.
Fingers crossed.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, good. So let's start with football. They played last Saturday against visiting Snow College, who obviously spent a month here in the East Coast and vacationed up and down the East Coast while getting ready to prepare to play us. So kudos to them.
Kudos to them. New York City trip on a Wednesday. Then they get here for Saturday. They play incredibly well.
Yep.
And I will say, without giving the results, I think they got shafted and they should have been in the top 4.
I think so too.
For the NJCAA football playoff.
Yes.
We were number 7. They handled us pretty good.
Yep.
I'd say.
I mean, like, not
and those of you that don't know, 30-7 defeat
the
in
final
the hand
score
of
was
Snow
37, and they were just that good.
Yeah.
And from what I saw,
there were moments in the game where it felt like we were one play away.
Right.
And
we were very good too because that game, even though it was 30-7, there were times there where we could have taken the lead.
We were uncharacteristically sloppy.
Right.
After playing 2 very, very clean games the last couple of weeks, we were very sloppy, and we were down pretty much from the start of the game.
Right.
Because of that, the safety that was on the opening kickoff.
Yeah. So with that, with how good we are, and they came in and it was 30-7.
Right.
I just can't wrap my head around that they didn't move into the top 4. I mean, I can.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I can too.
But I also think that they're very deserving, and congratulations to Snow. We'll talk a little bit more about the game, but they did spend those 5 days here,
and I knew,
and that could have been their bowl.
I knew something was up because when I pulled into the stadium parking lot on Saturday morning, their buses were already there, and one bus was graffitied on the side. So I figured it may have not picked up a bus from
Scranton.
Yeah, maybe they were. I thought it was odd.
Yeah, they were New York City. Yeah.
I knew we were in trouble when they had a couple kids out there without shirts on warming up.
I saw that.
I was like, oh yeah, these guys are from Snow College.
They're ready.
Yeah. But the result wasn't what we wanted. But like I said, our guys went out there and gave it their all and battled the conditions. It was cold and windy and nasty. Was the sun out, Tom? I don't even remember.
The sun was out. Didn't feel like it.
Didn't feel like
the sun was out though.
So, but it was just not our day, So congrats to Snow finishing 5 in the country. Even though I don't even know if they won, or congratulations because that sucks finishing 5th.
I know.
So but. I think we're at 11 now, Tom. We're back
to 11.
We play very good out of the 11th spot.
We're dangerous 11.
So if we have a postseason berth, then
if it expands to 12, we're going to be
extremely dangerous out of that 11th spot. But we want to thank all of our fans for watching all year on our streams. Kudos to TD Tom Ferguson and Josh Pardini on the call. Everyone that came out to the game.
I'll tell you, and honestly, for Saturday, I think the real MVP is Andrew Larson.
Speaking of battle in the elements,
he's our cameraman for the live streams, and he does not get any special perks. He was out in the elements, and at the highest point of the stadium, and the video looked awesome.
And you take the good with the bad with that job, because there were times, and I was going through my papers and my binder with announcing it. I think the first game of the year, the high was like 78. So he had some times where he had games where he could get and sunbathe, and
so the balance is out.
And so it all evened out.
And we should also shout out, we already kind of did, to the fans that were there in attendance, because it may have been 30 degrees outside, but we had a good crowd. That was one of the best crowds I've seen for a football game in a long time.
It was good. Not as much as we had Georgia Military in 2019, with, which was probably the most important game that we played. But there was considering the elements, there was a nice crowd.
I think so too.
Even Coach McCary made it out with his son. They made it to halftime, according to Twitter, and then Coach McCary had to watch the second half from the car.
Okay.
Because little Coach McCary was just frozen solid, and stuff too. So, but congratulations to everyone that helped out with football, whether it was through the production or coming out to see, or the coaching staff, players, everything like that. It was a very exciting season. Yeah. Maybe we got some more.
Yeah.
All right. Tom's going to let us know in a little bit.
Sounds good.
All right. So let's just recap our winter sports. So last week, women's team was on the road at Harcum. And then usually what happens when you go to Harcum, it's tough. Yes. So what was the final on that one?
73-55. They had been behind by double digits through parts of the game, but they got it within a basket.
Right.
About 2 minutes to go in the third quarter.
Yeah.
And they just kind of ran out of gas.
Right.
Harcum's got a couple good players that can score.
They shot the ball pretty good from the outside too. One girl was knocking down a handful of threes and stuff too. But it was a lot. I was excited that I was able to watch a live stream, that I was able to watch.
That you could kind of follow what was going on.
And I was able to see the scoreboard. So that was very exciting.
That's the key element there. You're not guessing at what
and then Nye Jackson led the way for us, Tom? Is that?
Yeah, she had 16 points, season high for her.
All right, good. And then our men were on the road at Rockland.
SUNY Rockland. And
they came away with a 3-point victory.
85-82. That was a game where they had led the majority of the first and second half.
Right.
Fell behind at halftime, and then fell behind late in the second half, went on a 10-1 run to close things out, came away with the win.
Good. And that's kind of like the opposite of last year, because weren't we ahead in games and then we would just blow?
That was the problem last year, was we didn't have those. We didn't have that comeback. We didn't have that comeback at the end.
It's the third full season, or second and a half full season for Coach Gabriel and his staff, and being able to have legitimate returning players who are sophomores, who are seasoned and have experienced those things. It's what it takes to start building a program.
Yep.
You really got to put in all that time and effort. And now you start seeing the other side of it, because they've been in those close games, both as a coach and as players, and you learn what to do and more importantly, what not to do.
Yep.
So that's awesome, and they've had a great start to the season.
Yep.
And quick touch on the women's game at Harcum. To play Harcum is your conference opener down there. That is tough, no matter whether it's your first year or your 10th year.
Right.
So kudos to the girls and Coach Spence and her staff for getting them ready. And I think it'll be a little bit different when we have them here at our place.
I think so. And then Nasir Brown led the way for the men's team.
He was one of 5 players in double figures. He had 23. And speaking of returning players, Nashawn Johnson came off the bench, started his first game of the year, 14 and 10 for him.
Right.
So.
So he did remind me last Wednesday that he was reinserted into the starting lineup, and I said, "Well, you better throw up a double-double." I asked for 20 and 10, but 14 and 10 will have to do.
Okay.
And stuff.
He got you part of the way.
Yeah, he got me part of it. So you can't. They play last night, which is today. Everyone knows we go through this whole thing.
Yeah.
Right. So not counting tonight, Tom.
Yes.
Because people watching this now can't watch tonight. When do we play again?
So the men play on the 29th at home against Delaware Tech. Okay. The women are not scheduled to play until I think it's December 5th on the road at Raritan Valley. Okay. Because they were supposed to play
December 7th. We've had 2 conference opponents who no longer are sponsoring.
Who were supposed to be scheduled in between.
And with the late announcement of it, we're trying to find other opponents. It's not the easiest thing, especially right before finals and the holidays. So we're still trying to plug some in. Reached out to a couple schools within 60 miles. I don't think anything will be added next week, but I'm really trying to work for December 3rd, which is a Saturday, when the men are at Mercer. Okay. So stay tuned on that one.
So our men are home. For those of you that want to either watch our live stream with, you're not TD, Tom.
Triple threat.
Just regular triple threat Ferguson and Steve Young on the call.
Not that Steve Young.
Home on the 29th, you said.
Yes, the 29th. Yep,
7 p.m. start.
Next
What
Tuesday.
Day is that? Next Tuesday?
It's next Tuesday.
I need to know this because as we had a talk before
you gotta make sure your staff is here.
Yes, and that means my oldest son, who is the shot clock cover, needs a written invitation and then a hand-delivered note and then a text.
Seems like we're coddling him more than some of the other event staff. But the other event staff, they don't cause problems.
Well, it's Sure.
I can't even say he's causing problems.
Oh, sure.
That's just me being able to finally take it to Michael for the first time.
If there's no women's game added to the schedule, when is the next time that they'll be home?
Not until the middle of December.
So they will be here before.
December 15th might be the first one. Yeah, we'll have a couple shows in before that to kind of ramp up.
And then LackawannaFalcons.com/live, there is a pay-per-view on that?
There is, for all home men's and women's basketball games.
But it's worth it.
Absolutely.
Individual games, I would buy the season pass because right there alone you get the money back.
Yeah. Right. All right, go month by month. Yep, awesome. So best of luck to all of our teams competing last night and this upcoming week and all that stuff. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
We always have this conversation about Thanksgiving and food and stuff too, and stuffing.
Yeah, I know. I hope Mom Berg watches this tomorrow and for the 3rd year in a row. Don't put celery in the stuffing, Mom.
Yes, please. Nothing crunchy, unless I like it burnt. Only if the stuffing is,
but not
crunchy.
Like, and then it's like, oh, but Danny, and I'm like, oh, but I don't like it.
Right, and then it's got to be what Danny likes.
Well, yeah, for that.
I was with the softball ladies last night, and they had Friendsgiving at one of the players' houses.
That's awesome.
None of them like turkey. They had chicken. I have a problem with that.
Yeah, I do too.
Because chicken is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, I love chicken.
Right.
But it's Thanksgiving. It's turkey.
Yes, that's what it should. Even if you just have to get deli sliced turkey.
Yes.
It should be turkey.
Or if you're not going to do a protein, you don't replace it. You just don't have a protein.
You just don't have it.
You have stuffing, mashed potatoes, and all that other stuff.
You do all the other stuff.
Yeah. That's how.
And then desserts.
I don't know how I feel about it. Yeah, I'm not sure I'm there.
So we were having that argument, but then I lost the argument because no softball player obviously likes turkey.
Really, none of them had it.
I guess so. They had chicken. I'm sure it was delicious, and I'm glad that they had some nice team bonding.
But, that's cool, though.
But have some
took the time to do that.
Ladies. Have some turkey and stuff, too.
Yeah, take
all
some
right, well,
pride.
happy Thanksgiving, everyone. We're going to leave the show now. Tom is going to talk to Coach Duda.
He is our athlete of the week.
Yeah, sure.
Coach Mark Duda.
Yes.
Athlete of the week.
Yes. And then, Tom, you're going to have to wrap up the show with Coach. Because we ain't coming back.
No.
There's going to be a commercial.
You guys are gone.
We're gone. We're done. I'm hungry.
They dismissed early on campus today, so you guys are out of here.
Yeah.
And I have a discussion question I have to write that I have no idea what I'm going to say.
Right.
What do you have to discuss?
I have to discuss correlation, Tom, of my research topic and the journal articles I selected for it.
Okay.
And what type of correlation. I don't know what type of correlation, Tom. I know there was correlation.
To go do it.
I'm going to probably just make it up. I do want to say that I did an assignment last week.
Yep.
I had no idea what the heck I was doing. 97 out of 100.
Just make sure you format correctly.
I think that's what's getting me is my APA is on point. Is on point. So everyone have a happy Thanksgiving. We'll be back next week on the Falcons Corner. Enjoy upcoming breaking news with touchdown Tom Ferguson and head coach Mark Duda. See you next week on the Falcons Corner. Take care.
Imagine the innovator you could be tomorrow with an innovative education today from Lackawanna College. Our Level Up program puts high school students on an early college pathway for an easier college transition and faster degree attainment at a dramatically lower cost. That's why Fast Company named us one of the world's most innovative companies. With an education from Lackawanna College, imagine where you'll be tomorrow. This is life-changing. This is Lackawanna College. Oil and gas jobs are back. Are you looking for a life-changing experience? Lackawanna College's School of Petroleum and Natural Gas can put you on a path to a lucrative career in the production and delivery of America's energy in just 2 years. Choose from 2 degree programs or 2 certificate programs with internships that give students real-world and practical experience in the field. Lackawanna College will give you the education you need to build a career in this exciting industry. This is life-changing. This is Lackawanna College. Apply today at lackawanna.edu.
Hey, it's Tom Ferguson, Sports Information Director with Lackawanna College. We're back on Falcons Corner because we're still talking Lackawanna College football, and I'm here with the man in charge himself, head coach Mark Duda. Coach, last game of the regular season came and went, but we're not done with football.
No, we're not. You know, we're pleased as heck to announce that we're going to go to the Wool Bowl out in Roswell, New Mexico. The game's held on Friday, the 2nd of December. And it's a fantastic honor for us, the 13th bowl in the program's history, against a really, really good New Mexico military team.
Yeah.
And so we can't wait to go.
A program that won the national championship last season, bringing back the Wool Bowl for the first time in decades, really. It's been a while since it's been back. And part of the problem, I feel like, at the NJCAA level has been that there haven't been a ton of postseason bowls. So what's it like you've been to a few of them, obviously the 13th in program's history. What can our kids, what can our fans expect going to a bowl game?
Just from a pure standpoint for the kids' enjoyment, it's a reward for a great season. And that's what we have to always remember. But then also an opportunity for more recruitment.
Right.
Other parts of the country can see these guys play. Really important for us to get those guys out there from an exposure standpoint. And the trip will mean a lot to them. The first time a lot of them have ever flown. They're going to go to, a part of the country you might certainly know, the Southwest, which they've never been before. And so it'll be an educational experience for them too, but just a great way to end it.
Yeah, Roswell, New Mexico is where the Wool Bowl is. First time I'll be out in New Mexico, and first time I'm sure for you. You've been to Arizona, you've been to Iowa, you've been to Idaho, you've been to Utah for these kinds of games, and obviously out to Kansas as well for the national championship a couple years ago. I mean, when you're playing a team like New Mexico Military, a team that has won a national championship, that has to be a big experience too for your kids and for the coaching staff as well, to go up against a team that has that experience.
Oh, they have great credibility. They have great football players that go all over the country, and so do we. And you see how you match up. I always say from the very beginning, when I got here a long time ago, I said that we should try to play everybody we possibly can at the highest level we can to get our players as much exposure as we can. So for our purposes, there's nothing better than to play great football teams.
All the details will be online at LackawannaFalcons.com. We'll have the press release and the information on how to watch, how to pay attention, and of course we'll be out there with you guys. I mean, it has been a weird season in the sense that we had kind of a lull in the middle where there were some games that weren't played. It seemed like up until at least this past weekend, you guys were playing some of your best football. How do you get the team refocused and ready to go for their game in a week and a half?
It has been the most up and down season since I've been at Lackawanna, my 30 years, for a lot of reasons that really weren't ours.
Sure.
Things just happened, scheduling, hurricanes, for the love of God, things that we couldn't control. But our kids have been consistently really good and attentive, and they've worked really, really hard. So it'll be easy to focus them for this one.
Right. Because
they've been shooting for this all the way. We have 3 goals. Okay, our first goal is to win more games than we lose. Our second goal is to go to a bowl game, right? Of course, our last goal is to try to win a national championship. So going to a bowl game, there are only, I think, seven or eight football teams in the country that get to play on, and we're one of them. So we're proud of them. And now let's see if we go try to win the game and have a great performance as well.
Right, right. And that's certainly what we hope for from the Falcons. So, Coach, we look forward to seeing what happens out there.
Thank you. Can't wait for it.
Going out to Area 51, we hopefully we don't disappear and we come back with a W. That's the most important part. But we'll be playing the Wool Bowl, as I said, LackawannaFalcons.com for all the information on the upcoming bowl game for the Falcons. Coach Duda, I'm Tom Ferguson. This has been Falcons Corner. We'll be back next week. Happy Thanksgiving. Take flight.